Chanel is the regional office manager for a big corporate in Cape Town. She thrives on staff development by means of creating authentic, interpersonal relationships. Her honours degree has afforded her an opportunity in corporate, where she focuses on business growth. She is an optimistic thinker even during adversity. She invests in her young family of 3 children in her personal time, as well as filling her own tank by regularly working out at the gym. Ladies and gentlemen, Chanel Walbrugh, your mind is more powerful than you think.
Your mind is more powerful than you think. The crowds roared with cheer from the pavilion. You can do it! You can do it! She gasps for breath, reluctant to take a step into the unknown. She steps back. Another adult passes her and leisurely takes the dive with ease. She looks behind her. No one is approaching. She once again musters the courage and walks forward on the plank, staring down at the crowd who are cheering. She takes a deep breath. My annual trip to Sea Point Pavilion, with its clear pools and high diving boards with my family, was one of the highlights for me as a child. Little did I know that this defining moment was the path in which the strongest traits of my personality would grow into. Who is this little girl? And where did she go? Almost 35 years later, I realize she's never left me. The question is, how am I to capitalize on this strong personality for my benefit on life's journey? My idea of a life filled with simplicity was tested for the first time in 2015. I'm 32 years old, living my life, happily married to the most handsome man. We were blessed with a beautiful baby boy, and I was chasing my dream of growing my career. It all came to a halt one morning. As I awoke, my legs were completely numb and my skin was on fire. Something wasn't right. I needed medical attention immediately. I was at work when I got the call. Your MRI scan shows lesions on your brain and your spine. You need to be admitted to hospital, where you will be under the care of a neurologist. A neurologist? After a series of tests, they diagnosed me with an autoimmune disease called multiple sclerosis. The doctor at the time of my diagnosis advised, I won't be able to have more children, and your body will basically deteriorate over time. I have never heard of MS. One thing I knew for sure. I didn't like it, along with this neurologist and what he was saying. I was overwhelmed with emotions, unable to understand what was happening to my body. I believe this thing shut me down for 2 years. I believed I would amount to nothing, and that my dream of having a big family and growing my career was over. I desperately needed that 5-year-old me right now with a fighting, fearless spirit of resilience. I have never heard of MS before. I had a life to live, and not just to exist, but to live it with purpose and abundance. In 2017, our beautiful daughter was born, and I was just fine. Months went by, we were happy and settled, and so blessed with our pigeon pair. It was a normal Monday after work. My husband came home complaining of feeling lightheaded and nauseous. I hear a thud coming from the bathroom. Devon collapsed. I was screaming his name. He was unresponsive. His eyes were flipped to the back of his head, and he was foaming at the mouth. He somehow gained consciousness and mustered up the strength to walk to the car where I could rush him to hospital. Doctors could not understand why he kept collapsing. He was losing blood, and very quickly, but from where? By the Wednesday evening, things took such a traumatic turn. He was rushed into theatre. There was no time for consent. They cracked his chest open and they cut his stomach open. You could hear a pin drop in the hallways of that hospital. Absolute thud! A door bursts open. People are running down the hallway with white cooler boxes. It was blood. Sitting in absolute silence in the middle of the night, the anaesthetist and surgeon appear in front of me. Mrs. Walbrugh, your husband is stable for now. There is a tumor growing in the lining of his stomach that ruptured and started bleeding profusely. He lost so much blood and he received 20 units of blood. His organs will fail in 72 hours. He has the risk of septicemia. And because he lost so much blood, we may also be facing a carcinoma. The tumor was left behind. I needed to be alone. I needed perspective. I needed a moment with God. I earnestly asked for a second chance at life with my husband, a life of longevity and absolute abundance. Never mind the probabilities the doctors gave. I chose to believe differently, and I claimed it. Devin woke from his coma as a celebrity. Hospital staff on duty that night could not believe that he had made it. It was a miracle. 5 years and several scopes later, the tumor is nowhere to be found. It's a miracle. I held my breath as I walked forward on that plank. 5 years old. I took that jump. My husband and I have been married for almost 14 years. He is still tumor-free by God's grace. We have been blessed with not one, but now 3 amazing children. Through my perfect chaos, I prioritize what's most important, my star player. Without me, mind, body, and spirit, I cannot give 100%. It starts with your mind. What attitude will you adopt to change your narrative? Unleash the lion inside you and fight. Your mind is way more powerful than you think.